to reconcile Zero Trust API security and developer experience. So Zero Trust API security is becoming the norm. What it means is that for every API call, we need to verify the user is authenticated and the user has the right authorizations. And when faced with these constraints, there are kind of two paths. You have the path to the right, the straight path, large road. It's basically pushing back the validation of the security closer to production. But we know a little bit where it leads. We see the news and we see the OWASP reports. The broken authentication, broken authorization, it's in the top three. And one reason is probably because by pushing down the road, then the responsibility is being dissolved between the dev, the QA, the ops, the security office. So we think there's a better way. It's a path on the left. It's a more curvy, and you have to slow down a little bit, not to impact the developer productivity. But thanks to mocking the security protocol, we can actually shift left the validation of the security requirement. So it's part of the broader DevSecOps approach where, well, a bit everyone is responsible for the security, but it starts from the dev. So before going further, we're going to briefly present ourselves. So we are from Amadeus. So if you travel by plane or you book an hotel, you've probably used our systems. So I'm Romain Quignot. I'm lead principal engineer in the Amadeus Cloud Platform unit, and more precisely, I'm building the stack for Java Cloud Native application. And I'm here with my colleague Kevin Viet. And I'll let you, Kevin, tell a bit our story with Cloud Native API security, and I'll come back in a few minutes for the live demo.
Thank you, Romain. So can you move the slide? Yeah, before talking about Zero Trust and secured APIs, I want to come back a bit on the Amadeus history, where we are coming from and where we are going. So basically, Amadeus has had its own private cloud, and in this cloud, the story was to move to the public cloud. And in this cloud environment, this private cloud, everything that was running inside this perimeter was trusted. It was trusted thanks to firewalls and security gates that were put in place in order to application to trust anyone in there. Now that Amadeus is moving to the cloud, this barrier is no more here. We still have some gateways like the API gateway that can do some authorization or authentication, but it's not enough. You cannot trust all the components that are inside the public cloud because the IaaS or the PaaS of the cloud provider can be compromised. So we have another transformation, which is the move to the microservice architecture. So we are moving from a monolith application where the same application in the public cloud will discuss with APIs that are going to be extracted from this monolith. So this redefine the limit and the boundaries of each sub-application and sub-services. And here again, how do we make sure that each microservice is really the microservice you want to talk to? And so we can ask ourselves the question, who is responsible for these security requirements? So before going to the demo, let's talk about how is working exactly the secured APIs in the cloud. So in Amadeus, you are using a standard that is called OpenID. This protocol of security is the one that you are using when, for example, you are connecting on a website and you are using the authentication using Facebook or Google or Apple, whatever. This is the same technology. So imagine we are a front-end application and we have been authenticated. What is happening behind the scene is that the front-end application is receiving from the identity provider what we call a JOT token that represent the fact that your user has been authenticated and authorized. Then the front-end application receives this token and wants to call a backend. In this case, our backend is called the travel search. And the front-end send alongside the backend call the JOT token. Then the travel search application microservice, is receiving this token and can inspect the token in order to see if the user has some authorization. However, this JOT token needs to be validated somehow, and this is done at the beginning of the travel search, at the starting of the microservice travel search that will download the public key of the identity provider. The travel search microservice will use the key in order to validate the JOT token and be sure that it has been signed by an authority he knows. Once this token is validated, the travel search can look at the JOT token and see if the users have the specific roles in order to interact with the database. So the question is, how can we test this secured API? So this pyramid is inspired from the very famous test pyramid we know in a software development cycle, and it represents different steps, different stages. The first stages, the lower one, is what we call the component testing stage, where the developer has access to and develop its current component test. And then moving toward the stage open production, it will cross the application will cross several different environments. So at the very lower stage, if a developer wants to test his application, its secure API, and that this security is enabled, he has to mock the OIDC protocol in order to perform the test. So this is feasible, but you have to understand the OIDC protocol, how it's working behind the scene. And imagine in a microservice-oriented applications, you need to replicate this mocking a bit everywhere. So it's an effort on the developer side. Then for the two second stages, that is local dev and dev mode, where the developer can test its application inside a local Kubernetes cluster, it don't have any more access to the programmatic WireMock. So it can install an OIDC provider on its own. For example, Keyclose is one of them. But here again, if you want to test your application in such a stage, I would say you have to bit understand Keycloak, how is it working, you have to install it, maintain, and it's also an effort on developer side. And before production, in the integration phase, where the developer often do not have the hand of the path, he cannot install whatever he wants. It's possible still to use the production OIDC server. However, this comes with an issue is that JOT tokens are very short-lived. So if you want to perform several tests or even do automation of testing, you have to create a token often to do that. So in this, if we follow the shift right approach, in order to ease the developer's life, a developer will naturally, I would say, disable the security. However, it's an issue because the setting of disabling the security can be moved to production if there is a mistake in the deployment. So it's a no-go, and it was a no-go for us. So we started to think how we can enable security in the integration stage. And for that, we got inspiration from our component testing phase, where we are using a mock. And in integration phase, it's possible also to use mocks. And we started to think out, okay, let's create a mock that can be installed in integration phase and mock the OIDC protocol. And so that's how is born our containerized mock that mock the OIDC protocol as an open API schema, and this mock is run by Microx. The good thing with that is the the approach can be shift lefted because this containerization solution can be reused in every stages of the pyramid. So you can use it as Helm chart in integration phase, in local dev and dev mode because you have a Kubernetes cluster, and you can also, thanks to Quarkus, you can use it also as a dev service in the component phases. So I will let the floor to Romain to explain you a bit the demo and to launch the demo.
So we're gonna do the demo in the dev mode, thanks to test containers. So here in this case, we replace the OpenID provider by Microx. And we consider OpenID as any other kind of API we want to mock. And so we have our travel search application, which is a Java microservice. It's based on the Quarkus Bootstrap. And we need a client application. And for that, we are going to use the Quarkus Swagger UI extension. It generates for us a standard Swagger UI, which we can use to simulate traffic as if it was coming from a front-end application. So actually, we can switch now to the demo video. Perfect. So here I have my Quarkus application started on my laptops. And as I mentioned, we have a Swagger UI for our microservice. It's a very simple one. It just has 2 endpoints. So the first thing you can try is verify our microservice is secure. So we can target the first endpoint. And if we execute, we see we get a 401 unauthorized. So we verify that it required authentication. So let's use the authorize button of Swagger. In fact, here we can now see that it works. So we get a 201 with the, so it answers back the ID where we need to poll to get the travel later. So we see in fact that Swagger UI has added a token to the query, and we can actually also retrieve the travel. So we get a 200. So how does it work behind the scene? So as I mentioned, we are using Quarkus. So it started as a Microx, as it started as a Quarkus dev service. So we have an embedded UI, and we can see there is one API which is mocked, which is the OIDC API. So normally the OIDC protocol is not cannot be described as a single unique open API specification, but thanks to mock templating, we can actually template the discovery of the other endpoints to point relatively to the endpoint we've mocked. So in our case, we're interested with the authorized endpoint, which is called from the Swagger UI. So we see the various endpoint here. And there are several cases that are mocked. So the case which matched is my user. And we see in the answer that it's a redirect with an access token, which is actually hard-coded in the mock. So that's how the magic works. And we can even look at this token in gwpt.io. And like Kevin mentioned, the important thing is that the issuer of the token is Microx, because at startup, the microservice will have downloaded the public key from the mock. It's another endpoint. And it will also see the issuer during the discovery. And this has to match the issuer of the token. We can put here a very far expiry date because it's mocked. And yeah, other important thing are the audience. It has to match the microservice identity and the role. Here we have a traveler role, so we have also a function level authorization. So we are actually going to get into this authorization check. So one thing I can do is log as Kevin. So it's a token for another user, and see if I can still retrieve my my travel. So here we get a 403 error forbidden. So we are able to validate object level authorization. And again, we have a third role, a third predefined case, which is the travel agent. So a travel agent is able to see the travel of everyone. And here, it's able to retrieve the my travel. So we've seen we'll be able to test several cases. What if I have a case which is not covered? So I create a token with the subject API days demo. And in fact, what we've put is if no case match in Microx, we use the value provided as the token. So I created a new travel, and if I retrieve it, I see that the subject is API days demo. So it took into account the new identity. So here we've seen we are able to very easily test the security of the microservice, and it's all is mocked and local, and I don't need to interact with an external system, external ADC provider. So we can imagine here it's a bit shiny in the dev mode. It's why we chose it, because it has some UIs. We can imagine that we can script the creation of the token if we are running a component test, still using the same private public key as the mock, so that the thing works the same. One last thing, so we can't share the code of the demo, but there is a nice thing in Microx, which is the hub or the quick starts. And in fact, we contributed a quick start for IDC. So it's just an opinionated open API contract for IDC. And it has some example of metadata on what to return return mock token that we've shown in this demo. So that's it for the demo. I will let Kevin conclude with the key message.
Thank you, Romain. So key takeaways. So as we manage, I hope to convince you, we want in the company to shift left everything about security. What is it possible to shift left for sure? Zero trust APIs are in this perimeter. So we want to avoid the design choice on our application that would work around the security, and to test the security requirements as early as possible. So here we are testing it in component testing approximately, and we want also developer to have the DevSecOps mindset. So where the security becomes the responsibility of the developer and not only to a single application security team that would be the guardrails of the security. The second message is about the developer experience. So we wanted to show that in our case, the OIDC API can be mocked so that a developer can test its application. So, but also we wanted to emphasize that we can reuse this mock in every phases of the life cycle of the application, and this is thanks to containerization. And so that it can be used, the same technology can be used everywhere. As Romain said, we cannot really show our example. There is a link that you can follow in order to see the Microx OIDC example to test it yourselves. So thanks for having watched our presentation. Bye.
Bye-bye.